Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Scott here from Sam's Coins and Heavy Metal. It's been a while since we've done a video and they kind of are not happening with the frequency that I would like in a perfect world, but sometimes life gets in the way and we get busy. I do work a regular full-time job. I have a family. I have a fiance that I don't spend nearly enough time with, and sometimes this is what suffers. So it's a Sunday night, coming up to the end of May already, if you can believe that, and it's been an interesting year. Obviously started out rather slow. The numismatic industry, the collectible industry, was rather slow, as well as bullion, silver and gold, precious metals. Really slow that first 3 or 4 months of the year. Similar situation after the big run-up in 2011. Things kind of petered out in 2012, pretty much through 2016. So that bear market, if you want to call it that, lasted a lot longer. The markets have been quite volatile, and we're seeing sudden spikes. We first saw the spike in gold from, it's been going, it was steady for the last couple of years. December, I acquired a lot of gold off a local collector when gold was in the 1950 range. And I remember it almost went to 2000, and then it fell back down to like 1905, and that was the weekend that we met, and he was kicking himself that it wasn't up to 2000. And I remember the conversation with him was, you know, it's probably not going to sustain anyways, and that 1900 is a good price. And then in early March, I had another chance to buy 3 complete sets of gold eagles, 2005, 2006, and the 2006 burnished set. The 2005 and 6 were proof sets, 50, 1 ounce, half ounce, quarter ounce, 10th ounce, all graded PCGS proof 70. And we actually had a deal worked out. There was a woman on the Mass-New Hampshire border. The deal was pretty much worked out. We were about $200 apart, and I had to drive up to her, and we went back and forth, and she tried to raise the price. Of course, I didn't have a crystal ball, but that deal ended up falling through, and of course, 2 months later, it's, gold's gone from 2,050 to 2,450. So, and of course, silver hit a 13-year high on Friday. Trading in the mid-31s, up close to $2 on Friday and about $3 for the week. So that was the best week silver's seen in, I believe, 13 years. I think it would be normal to expect some sort of pullback next week. But the way things are going, the one thing that is predictable is that it's unpredictable. So anyway, it's been a while since we've done a video, and I thought I would do a video on, primarily on third-party grading and ANACS, or American Numismatic Association. And a lot of people are aware that third-party grading has been around now for over 40 years, and PCGS came into existence in 1986. Prior to that, we had other services that kicked around. PCI was actually in business before PCGS, and of course ANACS had been around, but ANACS, the encapsulated slab, I should say, started in 1986, and PCGS, AccuGrade, PCI, and a bunch of others all kind of hit the ground running in 1986. But prior to that, we did have third-party grading, and it actually goes back to, I want to say 1972. It could go back earlier than that, but pretty sure it was 1972 when the ANACS Photo slabs kicked off third-party grading, and basically the need for a non-biased, professional appraisal, analysis, grade of coins, because back then it was magazine salesmen and telemarketers and traveling salesmen that would set up in hotel rooms and bring down grandpa's collection and we'll pay you top dollar. And you know, the interesting thing, like anything else, the seller, I don't want to say will overgrade, but will want to maximize what he has, and they do tend to overvalue or overestimate the grade of what they have, usually by a point and sometimes by more, depending on the person. And the buyer will inherently have the motivation to tell them why it's cleaned or why it's not the grade they think, because obviously that will mean they pay less for it. So third-party grading has a niche, and the interesting thing obviously is that grading is subjective, but I don't really believe it's fully subjective. I believe it's subjective to is one element of it. It's subjective with boundaries and by definitions. And what I mean is, if you're, you know, consistency is the big thing, right? So you can grade it any way you want as long as you're consistent and we understand the logic and the thought process behind it. If you're not consistent and you're not within an acceptable range, you won't be around long. Your reputation won't last, and you know, it just many grading companies have come and gone, and the only ones that have really been market makers, really, aside from PCGS and NGC, ANACS and ICG to an extent, but those coins all tend to trade softer. But that's an opportunity for a lot of people, because the buy the coin, not the plastic, buy the coin, not the holder, buy the coin, not the sticker. Logic certainly applies. But for sight unseen, dealers that buy sight unseen, or you know, relying upon pictures, even professional images, online heritage auctions or great collections and so forth, nothing beats the opportunity to see a coin in person. And having that return privilege is absolutely critical in the world of online coin buying and dealing, in my opinion, just because it doesn't matter how well it's photographed, and then of course certain people will always believe, or you know, there's a certain segment of the hobby that believes some people will Photoshop, and I'm sure they do, but sometimes it's just the angle, or it's just the lighting, or it's just the camera, the lens. Is numerous factors, experience or lack thereof. I mean, I'm at the worst at taking coin photos, and you know, the good thing about that is that they always tend to look better in hand, which I'd much rather have. I'd rather have someone be pleasantly surprised than shockingly disappointed. So anyway, didn't mean there to be a 9-minute introduction. I just wanted to go through the, I mentioned the photo slabs, and the ANA photo slabs. There's probably 10 or 11 generations of those, and if you haven't seen them, this is what they look like. And this is a this is a later generation one. This one, 82, so this was about 4 years before the encapsulation. And I want to say it's generation 9 or 10. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but the color, the border, the font, what's on the back, what's not on the back, will help dictate what generation this photo slab is. It's a 9 or a 10, and then there's you know, 10.1, 10.2 different generations within the generation. So this particular coin, this 1947, in our opinion, genuine original item as described, ANACS cert number E Echo 1030R Romeo, grade MS63. 63, the split grade, is obverse reverse, registered to TGM Coins February of 1982. And they take a photo of it, so obviously this flip can be tampered with, it can be replaced, but like a fingerprint, we look for unique markings on this coin, and there's various toning spots along the rim and in different areas here, and a little bit more difficult on the reverse, except we do have that marking right there, which is pretty, should stand right out, and sure enough. So that little marking right there lines right up with that little marking right there. So that's a great sign. The rim, you've got that chatter and that dirt, that mark right to the left of the eye, which right to the left of the eye. So obviously this is the same coin. This is a very thick patina, very nice original surfaces, nice luster, very nice. It's not that pasty blast white, freshly dipped, and you can see the difference in the luster. The color, it's a little bit off-white, a little bit goldish brown. Thick is the way I like to, it's the term I like. There's a skin to it. So that's Photo slab. Same generation, May of '82. Different registered owner, Virgil Marshall III. Now, fine 12, fine 12. This is a 1922 no descent. And you might say, well, is it weak or is it the strong reverse? Well, back in 1982, they did not differentiate the weak from the strong reverse, just like they didn't have quote-unquote details grading. They would net grade everything, and they would not put fine details, AU details, AU 50 details. If it was a AU 58 that had been harshly cleaned, it might say XF 45. They'll usually note the cleaning somewhere on here, but this is the weak reverse, as you can tell by the center ends and the United States of America, the UN, the wheat stocks. It's the motto, but obviously not as valuable as the strong reverse. But the photo slab itself is quite an interesting and a collectible piece. And again, with the photo, we can look for some very obvious pickup points, that chatter below Liberty and how flat Lincoln's head is. You know, when I looked at this, even I bought this at auction last year. I don't believe it's a fine. Usually these photo slabs and early ANACS generation 1 and 2 slabs are a little on the conservative side, and you can typically expect at least a point upgrade if you were to send them in. That mark below Liberty is there, right there, above my fat thumb. Let me see if I can get it. 1 second. Get a pointer of some sort here. Okay, so the glare is hurting us, but it's there. Just saw it in the previous attempt. The flatness of Lincoln's ear and head above his eye is consistent with, if we look to the left of the L in Liberty, the L is almost bled into the rim. If I took it out of the flip, it would show better, but suffice to say, it's the same coin. Another one registered to another person. This one is a different generation. In fact, all of these are slightly different. You can see that has the black backgrounds. That's older. This is one of the newer, 5/14/82. And this one doesn't even have the registered date, ANQ 196, 1986. This was one of the very last generation photo grade. You've got the genie lamp, red and black in the middle, 1882, ANQ 196, ANQ 196. Get that little mark across the cheek, which is right there. Okay. And then next to the hair curl, there's that mark. In front of the nose, there's a bag mark. In front of the nose, there's a bag mark. So this is clearly the same coin. We can go on and on. We get some chatter below the T in states. And there it is above God and below T. So, 3 different photo slabs, 3 different generations. And then, of course, the photo slabs were phased out with the first of the encapsulated ANA Generation 1 with the blue writing, the genie lamp separating official, ANA grading. And again, I think this is probably not an upgrade, but it's a beautiful piece and certainly very original with very nice mirrors and very solid for the grade. I don't think it would make 64. And again, we don't see the weak or the strong. Wasn't done then. So this is the weak. We're talking about the die on the eagle's tail feathers. This one, I do believe, is close to a 64. Very clean cheek, very clean fields. Not many distractions on this particular one. Nice mirrors again, nice surfaces, fully struck. Just a beautiful, some dye polish lines. That reflectivity, beautiful toning. These holders tended to impart this type of reddish blue toning, which I think adds to the eye appeal. I would never crack these out, even though obviously it would certainly cross at grade with a shot of a 3+ or a 4. But I don't mess with the photo slab coins. I mean the early ANA holders, I just leave them. I like the collectability of them, and there's a lot of people out there that are in the same camp. So I would, as much as it might be tempting, as long as I am in custody of these, they will never get crossed. Never, never, never say never. Romeo Void, 1982. Look it up if you don't know what I mean. Very deep mirrors here that I think would probably cross as a deep mirror today. Possibly a 63. Not a lot of significant chatter. These deep mirrors tend to get scuffed up because of the reflectivity and the sensitive nature of the fields. But you can see there's just not a lot of chatter in the cheek. That's not chatter. That's the metal. That's the die. That's the way the coin was struck. It's not bag marks. It's a wonderful piece. I don't know what's holding it back from a 3, but I would think that would be a 3 all day if it was sent in PCGS. Here's a 4 proof like. I mean, I just love the texture, the color, the eye appeal on these coins is just, I mean, compared to just a blast white, snow white, washed out I just think there's no comparison. I've shown this coin before. Now we've got generation 2, where it's actually ANACS, but it's the green lettering. You still get the same type of cert number. But this was probably late 87 or 88, I believe these were in existence. Stupendous toning on the back. Just gorgeous. These darker toned would make it harder to cross a grade. If I were to crack it out and send it in, it would probably come back 65 if I sent it in for crossover. I don't know. I mean, I've gotten 66s out of 381Ss and a 67. It's close. There's really no chatter. You know, but chatter's only one component, right? It's luster, strike, chatter, eye appeal / toning. So in the chatter department, I'm pretty close to 66 in the eye appeal, which is only a small percentage of the grade. And that toning is really nice on the reverse. Luster is solid. Maybe that's the one thing that would hold it back from a 6 in today's market. Not sure. But as long as I own it, we'll never know either. So another PL. It's kind of a run-of-the-mill common date. Still lovely. And then the same date, same grade, better mirror. Lovely. Just lovely. And then another. This one has very deep mirrors. You can see the chatter. 62 feels right. More over here. Cheek, some chatter, but not too bad. It's the type of coin that you'd see in a 3-holder nowadays, but I'm fine with it as a 2. I do think it has the deep mirror quality. But, again, you may disagree. Generation 2, 87.0, better date. And leave that there just so you don't think you're seeing double. 87.0, we have a generation 2 and a generation 1, a grade apart. One of those tougher dates. Nice and clean. Well struck for that. This date is very poorly struck. It's struck up pretty doggone nice. Lee, adverb. Another PL, 88.0, a little better date for a PL. Very nice reverse, huh? Look at that toning. Spectacular, spectacular. And just a few more Morgans, 89.0, it's another tough date. This one, you know, I thought it was a 3 the day I bought it, and I don't know why it wouldn't be. You got a flat chest, but this date is, I've read somewhere that this is the worst struck date of the entire series. I think that was right out of the mouth of David Bowers. Q David Bowers, to his close friends from Stacks and Bowers, auction firm, New Hampshire, Wolfboro, New Hampshire. About 75 miles to my north, as we say here in New England. Boston, going to the north end to watch the Bruins lose. 90S, we just saw a 90S. This one, didn't we just see a 90S? Oh yeah, we did. And you can see here, these are different in the lettering. Or are they not different? Maybe one's just faded. Yeah, I think one's just faded. No, the back isn't the back different? Let me see. Maybe not. It's hard to tell. That sticker on there. I think these are a decimal point generation apart. I got my questioning myself now. I'd have to look it up, but I think that they're both generation 1, but one's a 1.1 or 0.1.2. The other's a 1.3. I'm probably wrong. There's something to do with the border. The sticker goes under, the sticker goes to the border, the sticker goes under, the border goes under, this rectangle goes under. See this line here? But these might very well be the same generation, so disregard. False alarm. More nice mirrors. I love mirrors, as you can tell, especially on better dates like the 91S or the 880 or 78 with 7/8. Very common, run-of-the-mill, but came with another piece that was part of an auction. Here's a better date. Nice in 1899. Well known for a low mintage, somewhat scarce, somewhat overrated. 99p. 99O super common. 99p and S not so much. Not too bad. And then another date that's kind of a sleeper date that you don't see every day is the 02p. Nice enough coin. Decent. A little muted on the luster perhaps. And then let's see. What else do we got? We got this 21 piece dollar, which I've shown in other videos. Got a big gash over here in the middle of the face, which is probably why we're at a 61. Full. This is the high relief, obviously. Full unbroken luster. Rolls over the highest points on the coin without breaking. And then we have this ANACS further on, not a generation 1 or 2. This is a soapbox, but I just happen to like the 83 date. And something about this coin, I haven't been able to sell it because I happen to like it for some reason. And then another soapbox. Really nice, creamy Columbia commemorative $50. Not my strongest series. A lot of big open fields on these. Three-dimensional on the stars. A lot of the grade will be part of the strike features on the design elements and the big wide open field. So 65 is a pretty decent grade on that piece. And then we have this old PCI Gettysburg, better coin when it comes to the commemoratives. Tougher coin. Low mintage. 26,000 says so right there. PCI. PCI told you. Rolling luster, mottled tone, and I believe a lot of the grade comes from the strike quality, the fascies, and they tend to get bag marked. You can see there's some pock marks on it and on the shield. Not too bad though. What, at 64 at PCGS? Hard to say. Premium quality according to PCI. The green border on the PCI is the generation that they have the most credence with. Once you get to the gold border, it starts to kind of go downhill in terms of their reputation. We have another soapbox. This wonderful seated $50. And it's got that ANACS soapbox toning. Arrows raised. Rays in the back, arrows at the date. And that was the weight of these is a little bit less than your standard $50. They were shaving off a little bit of metal for the Civil War. They needed the metal for the war, and the weight of the coins were a little bit lower than in previous years and not up to the mint specifications, and that's why you had the arrows at the dates. For those of you who do not know already, most of you I'm sure already know that, but we figured we'd throw that out there. And then we have this very lovely Generation 1 1840 half dollar, which happens to be an R5 variety. R5 is pretty rare, and this is the WB102, which is the micro O. And if you look it up, you'll see there's been a couple who sold. Heritage sold one in 2022, but it was an MS64 and an NGC holder. It sold for about 11 grand. An XF40 back in 2012 sold at Great Collections for about 350. That was 12 years ago, in an NGC holder. So really hard to put a value on this, but I think I did very well in the price I paid for it, but it's also got that ANA Generation 1 going for it. So very happy and excited that I was able to acquire that piece. Showing these, changing the subject a little bit, I'm contemplating sending these 1991 small date pandas in. I've sent the first batch in, they all came back MS69. If any of these are a 70, they're worth close to 2 grand, but I'm sure that'll never happen. This was the same batch, but I think I'm just going to keep those the way they are. So I want to end this video at this point because we're a half hour in, and I thought I'd keep it to 15 minutes or less. I just wanted to show a few of the first and second generation ANACS coins and talk a little bit about third-party grading. Next time we'll talk about trying to decide if I want to go into Canada. Those are 75-25. Those are 18 karat gold, the balance being silver. Year of the ox, year of the tiger, in their original government packaging. We have some, that's a 1/10 ounce 1999 proof gold eagle. This is what we'll talk about next. We'll talk gold because gold is so high. We'll discuss gold on the next video because it's kind of a hot topic and people want to talk about gold. Gold bullion, gold coins, Roman numeral gold eagles, 1987, 1 ounce. People like gold, and gold is up to just about an all-time high at this point. So it's something that people want to talk about, and we'll get into some of these coins as well, and we'll talk about them in more detail. Some more Roman numeral proof. These are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Proof gold eagles are just, especially the ones from the 80s, they're just phenomenal. These half-ounce coins are nice. They're not too small, but proof gold from the 80s is will be on the menu on the next video. Isle of Man. Isle of Man again, 1994. And then some of my favorite coins are the China Pandas. So we will get into that in the next video. And Sam's Coins and Heavy Metal, you can reach us at samscoinsandheavymetal.com, samscoinsandheavymetal@gmail.com. Find us on eBay under the same name with an underscore in between each word, and the word "and" is spelled out. Sam's underscore, coins underscore, and underscore, heavy underscore, metal. And we're also on USA Coin Book. But certainly feel free to send us a message if you have any questions. Pretty much everything you see is available. everything's available for a price, if you will, as the saying goes. Whatever it is. Like, comment, subscribe if you're so inclined, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.